Hi, how's it? Please go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. And now that the power has died, I have to try and get this message out as quickly as possible because I don't want to be working in the pitch of night in this country with 10,000 million podcasts a day. Okay, I was speaking about hostility that suddenly hops inside a person against a believer that has not displayed themselves heretical in any way. They have not spoken any doctrines of demons. They have been sound all along, but they find themselves strangely having beef with the child of God. The same thing happened with Judas. Literally, check yourself. Judas was indwelt by Satan and suddenly went cold and betrayed the Son of Man. The Son of Man having not done anything to have that coming. So if a Christian ministry is suddenly, if you find yourself hostile against, why am I talking like this? I have a spiritual gift. I had a vision last night of one of my followers on TikTok. You know when a person has passed away and their eyes are still open on the street after getting knocked over by a car or whatever. How it is that sometimes somebody rocks up and just kind of does that over their eyes to close them so they can not be scary looking on the floor there as they are dead. I had a vision of one of the people that follow me they keep liking my stuff, and they initially started out really liking me on TikTok, coming to me, and he did that to my eyes. Like he closed them the way that you would close the eyes of a person that has passed away but their eyes are still open. Essentially, this guy has written me off as good as dead. Written, like, yes, guys, the things that I see in the spirit, they're very frankly quite disturbing, and it's so heartbreaking. It's like people are walking away from me. They're becoming hostile for no other reason than their own personal agenda, and it is because Satan is entering them. If not Satan, of course it's not Satan directly, probably like demons, entities, a wickedness, a spirit. And you cannot, the other 11 disciples never got filled by this because they were truly serious about God. So if you are rocking up outside of my ministry and you suddenly finding yourself hostile with me not having had it coming because I suddenly one day broke out into some flagrant heresy, or I came here and I started like telling you guys that I'd rather go and worship Allah. Like, I didn't do anything against the cross. If you find yourself suddenly strangely hostile based on the things that I talk about that are within biblical veracity, and you are so hostile that you wish I would just disappear, or it doesn't matter if you don't ever get your life back together again, and you then start teasing and mocking another dream or vision that I keep on getting about people, especially on TikTok, because TikTok is the new environment now that's dying off on me. YouTube has already died on me, right? Those people walked away from me. The same hostility slapped me. Now I am on TikTok and they're slapping me with hostility, right? I'm expecting that my Facebook will start to die soon, one of these days as well, which then highlights to me that something's very wrong in the country. I had a dream of a whole bunch of people on TikTok that started out supporting me, chilling in a bunch together, bang seva. And among the things that they were gossiping me about was basically complaining against my poverty, my lowliness, these conditions that I am in, and trying to use them to explain away listening to me or continuing to follow me, and using them as an evidence that God is not with me, that I am guilty by the association that I have to poverty. They are like just murmuring in their spirits along the lines of that she is persecuted by her family, but we don't have proof, we don't have evidence, and she's probably done this to herself, and witchcraft. I mean, come on, like, God, why would God leave her in this position? And so they are finding themselves listening to my content, and they having started out initially warm and welcoming, now they're gnashing their teeth. Now they hate what I say. Christ went from preaching to a crowd that was doting about him, and then they were like, crucify him, crucify him. Unless you are the 12 disciples, in other words, unless you are a disciple of Christ, you would not develop that hostility towards me. If Satan can enter you, you are a Judas. If I have not said or done anything that is out of the Bible, your hostility is evidence of your likely unsaved state. By this, men will know that you are my disciples. Love one another. The one who closed my eyes, it was a guy, but the crowd that was talking, it was like mostly women, but a crowd of just people that were outside of my ministry watching me, having initially started out liking me quite a lot on TikTok, and now they were gossiping me along the lines of, God was showing me their mindset. They probably don't even know each other in waking life, but their general thought process is along the lines of, and then we don't know anything anything about what she's saying. By this you will know that these are my disciples, love one another, and again you will know them by their fruit. You might not know my life, but I live in front of you guys sufficiently enough to know that I'm not currently doing anything into Lengzeleng. God would have seen it fit to expose it long ago, or might even expose it, if at all I've yet to be exposed. But until such time that you find dirty laundry on somebody that you suspect might be false, you cannot base your suspicion of their falsehood on things like their poverty, because it's unbiblical to imagine a person is not blessed of God when they're poor, or blessed of God when they are rejected by family, or blessed of God when they've lost all their friends. It is rather the contrary. Matthew 10 says that the Lord has come upon the earth not to bring peace but a sword, and that mother will go against daughter, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law. From now on, a man's enemies will be members of their own household. If at all I am not walking in any unscriptural capacity or flagrantly speaking out blasphemously against God, you cannot write me off as false based on what you hope is not the truth about me. People want to be comfortable and easy, to live in zabo that are half-hearted towards Christ, by writing off a genuine disciple that is pious and enduring evil patiently. And because my life is so hard, you don't want to listen to me because the things I speak are hard, and I call out a spade for what it is, and I'm trying to highlight to people that you very potentially might not even be saved. Look within to see if you're born again. And when I come up with these things, because you can relate with likely what is awry in your own spiritual walk with Christ, you want me to be wrong, because man is scandalously antagonistic to the fact that they are born dead in trespasses and sins. No one does good, no, not one, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and they can't even come to God unless God draws them. If the righteous are scarcely saved, what then for the ungodly and the sinner? The fact that we want to believe we're excellent, when somebody walks up and challenges that in you, you then want to believe that they are wrong. The crowd that killed Christ wanted to believe that Christ was wrong because they didn't want to acknowledge that, first of all, he was the Son of God, the Messiah, and that he came here not to abolish the law but to fulfill it. And when men were found wanting in the sight of the law, upon him making it clear that I am the way, the truth, and the life, because you can't save yourself, they got upset because they wanted to believe they can do it themselves. So when then you get told you're not that great, if anything your righteous works are like filthy rags, people start to gnash their teeth. They get irritated when you challenge something in them. But guys, what does it profit you to gain the whole world and yet lose your soul? People are murmuring against me, hateful and resentful of my persecuted state. I am persecuted. I am not fornicating. I am not sinning against God. I have had my whole family and friends turn their back on me. Men will betray one another, and because of an increase in lawlessness, the love of many will grow cold. That's Matthew 24. I am walking in a biblical Christianity, and I am enduring biblical persecution. I have lost everything for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. For righteousness' sake, I have walked in a piety that is enviable or covetable by those who are yet to walk in it. And so therefore, because they recognize their shortcomings when they gauge against the perfection of Christ, and I keep highlighting that and hammering it in, they are like futagena and luto. Blessed are the persecuted. Blessed are the persecuted. So you can't say I'm not blessed and therefore have not embraced eternal life, because I'm suffering. I'm also calling out the occult, and so I am targeted by the occult. And if the occult is successfully able to take you away like a tsunami, cause you to go dizzy and drowsy in the presence of a Christian, you are like one who has successfully been indwelt by Satan, like Judas. You will react by betraying the Son of Man. Next part.